Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the channel where today I am going to be reviewing Equal Rites, and I've taken the opportunity to rearrange my shelf, downgrade the Wheel of Time to the bottom, bring up Discworld to the top. That makes sense in my head, and the middle shelf that you can see is also for the Sun Eater series. That makes a lot more sense. Now, Equal Rites is the third entry into the Discworld series by the late, very great Sir Terry Pratchett. And for me, this was a reread because somehow I wasn't expecting this. I was going to leave these for another 6 years' time. When I turned 50, I got sucked into a read along by the evil Varsha from Reading by the Rainy Mountain. I'll leave that link to her channel in the description below, and somehow now I am rereading the whole of Discworld. So I think it's different to review book when you come from a reread point of view than as a first time, and it would be really interesting to see what other people have to say in the discussions and the chat that we're going to have on the book. So once again, I'll leave details below. Now, for me, coming back to this book, like, I'm familiar with the characters. I understand a lot better after having read the whole series what the books are about. So in that reread, so what this book is about basically is a wizard is about to die, so he hands over his wizard stuff, and through an accident the magic powers are passed on to a baby girl instead of a baby boy, because in the Discworld only men can be wizards, only women can be witches. And all of a sudden now we have a girl, a woman, wanting to do a man's job. Look at all the connotations, implications, all the social commentary around that, just from a fantasy, in a fantasy setting, the amount of things that Sir Terry says there. So I think that's the magic and that's the craft of what Sir Terry Pratchett did. So in the book you have that sort of reluctance from everyone and every person in the book doesn't accept that this young girl, Escarina, can become a wizard. Not the male population, not the female population, no one can comprehend that this thing might happen. So that's really interesting. And then there's a few jokes here and there where Sir Terry just pokes fun at the hypocrisy of society in certain aspects. There's a particular joke about public relations people that is fantastic, and there's also to do also with stereotypes of the gypsy traveler community in the UK, which again, I've said this many times before, that Discworld is a very quintessentially British piece of work, and sort of it generates this sort of, or plays on that stereotype, and then Sir Terry just completely appends it, changes it, completely flips it on you, and the joke just lands perfectly. Also, it introduces us for the first time in the series to the character of Granny Weatherwax, which is one of the sort of linking threads of the whole series. I was relatively impressed to see how much of the final product Granny was already on that first book. So she's the main character in the whole Witches series. Check out my reading guide to the Discworld that I did years ago. And she is pretty much the finished product. The personality, her traits, basically the character is there. Maybe not so much. Maybe later books Granny Weatherwax wouldn't behave in certain ways when she travels to Ankh-Morpork. But man, it's incredible how everything just came out in one go. So it was this particular reread. It was heartwarming. It really felt like meeting up with old friends and having a good time. It was a thoroughly enjoyable read, and I just cannot recommend Discworld enough to anyone. I think Sir Terry Pratchett himself recommended starting Discworld in book 3, not books 1 and 2. I've actually skipped the first 2 in the read-along. I may come back to them later, but I think the plan is to do 1 a month. I don't know if I'm going to be able to commit to that. And since I'm going to be doing this as much as I can, I would probably take the opportunity to do reviews of the individual books and build a playlist here for the channel. So yeah, not so much a review as a kind of like feelings, emotions, impressions on the reread. But to anyone that hasn't touched the Discworld, please do so. Do yourselves a favor. Is one of my all-time top 3 fantasy series ever. Which again reminds me of a video we did over at Den of the Weird with Susanna Imaginario. So we'll leave a link in the description below as well, so you can check that out. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. As usual, if you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, comment, thoughts, opinions, ideas. Take lots and lots of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.